Hello guys, Loctron here, and today we are back with another WoW video. And this one's, like, I know the last one was a little confusing for those of you who are not into WoW really. From what it seemed like, a few of you were experienced in the WoW field of expertise. But this is for those of you who haven't really played WoW and are wondering if you might want to get into it. I personally recommend it. It is my favorite game. It's every game has its flaws, but I personally think that WoW is the most rewarding game I've ever played. But this is going to be a video for anyone who wants to get the game. One of the biggest questions I hear people ask whenever I introduce the game to them is, what class should they play? And I know my server thing is not too impressive. I only have one max level on the server, so let's not bother with that. But let's take a look here at the different classes. And actually, like, the face clips through that mask a little bit. I wish they'd fix that. Now I'm gonna give a brief rundown of most of the classes. Let's see here. I'm going to do it on a troll just because all but one of the classes the troll can be. There is the warrior. Or actually, yeah, there's the warrior. He's your basic hack and slash, just up close fighter. There is the paladin. He's like a warrior that can also heal and use holy magic. There is a hunter. He uses ranged weapons. He can place certain traps, and he has a tamed beast with him. There is a rogue, which can go into stealth mode, or basically invisibility, and can do insane combos when coming out of invisibility. Priest, which for the most part focuses on keeping team members alive. Shaman, who is actually fairly versatile. I guess you would say that it places down totems and casts like lightning type spells, but there's definitely different, like, each of the different types of shaman are different, like very much so. Mage uses a combination of arcane, fire, and frost magic to burst down their opponent. Warlock uses basically fire and shadow magic along with powerful demons to kill their enemies, which is actually one of my favorite classes. That's actually why I'm named Loctron. The monk, this is as of right now, this is the newest class. This is before Legion has come out, but the monk is one of the newest classes, least played class, which I don't fully understand because I've played it. It's not too bad. It's actually fairly fun. Basically, imagine like you're a kung fu master. That's very similar to how this works. A druid is a shapeshifter, and depending on what you would want to do is depending on what you would shapeshift into. And don't worry, I'm about to be going into more description for each thing. The Death Knight is the last one on the list, and this is the only hero class until Demon Hunter comes out in Legion. This one, if you're just now starting up the game, is not relevant, because I don't know if you still have to have a level 55 to make this guy. You used to, because these guys start at level 55 and in their own starting zone. Hold on, he looks better on it. There, it looks better on an orc. Now, what I was going to say, though, is that it may start at level 55, but that, like, don't think, oh, that must mean it's OP. Not really. But it is fun to play. That's what my main right now is. But yeah. So that's a brief rundown of each of the classes. Now, in order to help you decide what you would want to pick whenever you start playing, this is what you want to ask yourself. Do you want to be the person dealing out the damage? Do you want to be the one healing the damage, or do you want to be the one soaking up the damage? Because those three questions, like, depending on which of those you gravitate more towards is depending on what your role you're going to play. And let's say you want to heal the damage. You're not going to do that as a rogue. You're not going to put some magical healing potion on your daggers and like shank your allies just to give them a health boost real quick. No, you don't do that. But and likewise with a where is it? With a priest, you're not going to tank all the damage because you know you're not this massive tanky person. You're not that. And so basically decide if you're a DPS healer or tank. And what I recommend is for new players, I recommend damage because it is the one that takes the least learning to start out with. Because tanking requires keeping attention and like making all the mobs hit you. Healing, you have to meticulously make sure everyone stays up. But as a DPS, you can literally just sit there mindlessly killing something and you're still benefiting the group. So for a starter, I would definitely recommend Hunter. Well, definitely recommend DPS. Hunter's the one most people lean towards, and it's because it's a simple one. If you want melee or ranged, also plays a big difference. If you do want ranged, I would go Hunter because you have a pet to help you out in case you get in a tough situation, and it's a very easy class to pick up and learn, along with having enough variety to keep you interested. If you are going to go the melee route, this gets a little bit touchier though, because I don't really think there's a wrong choice with melee. I think all the melee is fun. And to run down the melee real quick, the Paladin is a melee. It could be a melee, or it is a melee. Warrior's a melee, Rogue's a melee. Shaman can be a melee. It's very fun. I actually have a friend right now who's leveling a melee shaman, and he loves it. Monks are melee unless you choose to be a healer. Let's see here. Druids can be a melee, and when they are a melee, they're not bad. And then Death Knight, of course, you can tell just by looking at this guy, he's the type of guy that wants to slap you in the face with a sword. So I'm pretty sure it's safe to assume that he's melee. And that, of course, means like stuff like the Hunter, the other spec for the Shaman, the Mage, Warlock, and all that stuff. Like, it makes it safe to say that that's ranged. And that's completely okay. Like, just decide which one you think you would like more. But if you have absolutely no idea, what I recommend doing, clicking on this and just trying it. Because it is the easiest, it really is the easiest to pick up class. And then there's the problem of, like, and don't get me wrong, you're going to change your favorite class many times probably. But to learn the game, go with this. Recommend it heavily. Despite having a dislike for the class, it has nothing to do with the class itself. It has to do with how I dislike a lot of people who play it. But the class itself is a great class. I can't hate it. And as far as picking your... Or wait, I didn't actually select a recommendation for melee, my bad. For melee, I would recommend Warrior for new players. And you know what, let's say you do want to tank or heal. For healing, I would recommend a Priest if you do want to heal. And if you want to tank, I would recommend a Paladin. Okay, now that we have all that out of the way, it comes down to picking your class, which really has to do with picking your faction first. And I have a strong bias towards which faction I prefer. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. I play Horde like exclusively because I've always been more fascinated in the lore for the Horde, and I've honestly always preferred the way they look and the way their buildings look. It's always been more interesting because, like, if you look in the background, I think these buildings look a lot more interesting than these ones. Because these are like generic, just medieval. These actually look like brutish fantasy buildings, and I like that. But, okay, so you want to pick a faction first. If you have no idea, like if you're coming into this game by yourself, absolutely no idea, then I would personally recommend Horde. Leveling Horde is, well, actually it's the same difficulty either way you go. But I do recommend Horde personally. I'm not saying Alliance is bad, that's just my preference. But if you're coming into this game already having a friend who plays, you need to make sure you know which faction they play. Because if they say, hey, okay, yeah, I play Alliance, you can't just make an undead and be like, okay, I'm hopping on. Because, no, you're not going to be able to play with them. You need to be on the same faction that they're on. These guys are why I hate Alliance. No, not really, but their ears too big. Like, just, no. But as far as picking the faction, yeah, just go with what, like if you do have a friend that already plays the game, just do what they're doing, or not really do what they're doing, but just go with the faction they're on for a little bit, because chances are if you already have a friend who plays the game, you got the game to play with them. So it kind of helps to choose the same faction. That way you can actually do that. And now it comes to making choosing a race. Now, choosing a race, as you can see on the right, races have different access to different classes. So, first thing you need to do, well, there's two things you need to do about at the same point. If you do have a friend who's doing this, and they're making a character with you, you're going to want to be the same race. So you two need to work it out together. But, before I get into the but, also you need to make sure that if there's a class that you are dead set on, you need to make sure you choose a race that can be that class. Like, let's say, oh, I want to make a priest. Okay, let's make our orcs. Okay. Fine, I'll be a Tauren rogue. Oh, nope, can't do that. Blood elf druid? Oh, nope. Dang it. Undead shaman? Oh, gosh darn it. See, like, you don't want to have that problem. You want to go ahead and determine, like, what class you want to play, because you're probably, like, if you're playing with a friend, you're probably going to have to make sacrifices there. But it's worth it to have someone to play with. After all, this is an MMO, which means massively multiplayer online. The multiplayer part implies that playing with people tends to make it more fun. It's just what I've picked up over the years. Yeah. But as far as, let's say you are doing this without anyone with you. Let's say that's the case. Then after you pick the class you want, narrow it down to what class of what faction, or narrow it down to what class you want to play, which I've already given my personal suggestions. You can choose what you want from that, and then choose what faction you want to play. And then once you do that, let's say you chose Alliance and you chose Mage. Well, first thing you're going to do is look through, be like, okay, these can all be mages. Well then, you have freedom of choice. And then what I would recommend doing is clicking on more info, and you can read the bonus each person gets. Personally, I think humans are kind of overpowered because of their racial ability, which everyone who plays WoW would agree with. But that's the general idea. But let's say you want to play warrior or something. Then if you're on horde, I would personally recommend either orc or tauren, because they have special bonuses that make them, I would say, better for those classes. Like as a tauren, you have more health, which for an up-close fighter is a good thing to have. And for the orc, you get a special move that makes you your attacks hit harder for a little bit, which is also really good as a melee character. So yeah, there's not a bad class, there really isn't. Certain PvPers might tell you that. No, there's no such thing as a bad class. It's all on who uses it. Hunter's the easiest one to pick up. If you have no idea what you want to do, I recommend just making an orc hunter. It will be the easiest way to introduce you to the game. It's not going to have any of the weirder mechanics like the Pandaren are in their starting zone. It'll just be a lot more simple for you to get into. So yeah. If you and also if you want to get into the game, before you buy it, I recommend downloading the free trial. The free trial lasts for as long as you want, with some limitations, and you can only go up to level 20. Now, I know that sounds like, oh, why would I do that? Can't do much. But if you're already thinking about purchasing the game, you would want to do that to make sure you like the feel of it, because I'm not going to encourage you to just mindlessly throw your money out and get a game that you haven't tried. So I do recommend trying it before you buy it. But yeah, altogether, I'd say if you're just beginning and you're wanting to try out the game, this is the type of character you'd want. And actually, you know what? That's about it for this video. But I personally want to know, if you guys like WoW, please tell me yes or no in the comments. If you've played it, or if you haven't played it, let me know in the comments. And if you are someone who is wanting to start and try to play it, please let me know. I will personally invite, if someone says they want to start playing WoW in the comments, I will personally invite them and play with them if they download the game. I really will, because I think the best thing you can do is to try new things. I think that is the best thing. Especially with the new Warcraft movie coming out this summer, and the new expansion also coming out towards the end of the summer. There's a lot of things going to be going on with this game, and I just think the best thing you can do is go ahead and see how you feel about it. So if you guys enjoyed, please let me know by smacking that like button. As I said, please give me any type of feedback you have in the comments. Please share the video to anyone you think would enjoy it. While you're at it, share anything else of mine you would like to show other people, and subscribe if you are not already. But anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. See you guys next time. Peace!